But sometimes I'll be laying down, man. I'll be laying down about to go to sleep, and I'll just pick up. I just pick something like, we'll just see. It don't look like it's gonna be that good. And I wind up watching it before I go to sleep because it wound up being good. You find a lot of good movies like that.
Right.
All right, what is up, everyone? We are live now. We had a little pregame there.
We were talking about movies.
I know, we were talking about movies for a second there. That was awesome. But yeah, welcome to the 32nd episode of the Quest Podcast. I'm your host, Dark Optimus, and let's get right into it with our special guest of the evening, the one and only TripleCupChuck.
And I'm up. What's good with y'all? You know what I'm saying? Appreciate y'all for having me out here. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody on the panel, everybody in the live chat. You know, everybody gonna be watching in the few and stuff like that. I'm ready to talk about some games. You know, more games. It's your boy TripleCupChuck, and I'm up.
Nice, dude. Happy to have you on.
I appreciate you having me here.
And getting into our one and only panel member of the evening tonight, Sir M. Baines. What's up, bro?
What's going on, man? Same old, same old. Every Thursday night, you know, here, 9 p.m., ready to get these topics rolling.
Yeah, definitely, man, definitely. So what we like to do every week is, you know, kind of, while everybody's kind of coming in and trying to, you know, get the podcast bearings together, we'd like to see what you guys have been playing throughout the week. So, TripleCupChuck, what have you been playing, bro?
I was actually just playing me some Madden. All it was.
Yeah, I had went double vision for a second. Yeah, I've been playing me some Madden. I've been playing me some 2K. I've been trying to Forza Horizon 3, a masterpiece. I mean, I just watched that game and it's just a beautiful game, and I could play that for years to come. It's just one of those games that you could just sit back when you just want to calm your nerves and just inhale, exhale, and just let all the stress go away. Forza Horizon 3. I don't need no therapist. I just need Forza Horizon 3. That's all I need.
Definitely. I agree with you on that. I mean, the Forza games, I tout that they're niche. I just like kidding around. But, you know, those games are so great for, you know, just sitting there relaxing and just, you know, taking one of your favorite cars out and for a spin and just, you know, driving for miles, you know. I love those games.
But gas money.
Yeah, exactly. Gas money. Anything else you've been playing?
Right off the top of my head, I can't. You know how you go get right. You know, right when you ask somebody what all you've been playing, and all of a sudden your mind just go kind of blank.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Yeah, but yeah, that's about it for right now.
Awesome. And Baines, what have you been playing, bro?
I've been playing some Uncharted 4 multiplayer. I'm hooked on that thing. And I've been playing Hellblade. I finished up Bulletstorm. By the way, I finished that. That was a really good game, actually. Anybody that's thinking about checking that out, you can check it out. It's actually pretty good. And so, yeah, Uncharted 4 multiplayer and Hellblade. Hellblade is just off the hook. That is a really good game.
Hellblade's just Hellblade, right? Yeah. It's just like it's on another level, man.
That game right now. I mean, the narrative, the way the narrative drives itself throughout the voices, using, you know, because she has psychosis, so she's always hearing all these voices. But the voices really drive the narrative, and then when you get in certain situations, the voices will really help you out.
Right.
So, yeah, man. I mean, the environment, everything about the game, it looks beautiful. It's a really good game, man.
Definitely, dude. And I have been playing some Injustice 2. They did a little bit of multiverse with the Starfire multiverse world, and just to try her out, they have like a little free trial on there. And that's a lot of fun. She's actually a pretty cool character to play with. I played a little bit of Titanfall 2 multiplayer, just for shits and gigs, of course. You know, just got bored and decided to play that. Played a little bit of Destiny, of course. Kind of just, you know, getting my bearings ready for Destiny 2. And then I've been playing Hellblade, of course. You know I said I wasn't probably going to buy another game for until Destiny 2 came out. But for some reason, M. Baines was like, "You better buy that game." No, he wasn't. He didn't say that. He was just like, "Bro, you should really look into it." And I started looking into it more, and then I just was just like sold at that point,
Yeah.
But let's get into the topics of the evening. Gearbox needs help with their new shooter, which their new shooter is called 1v1. That's their placeholder. When I mean they need help, basically they're doing a tech test to test out servers and kind of just they need people to get in the alpha and kind of just test it out. What do you guys think of that? You guys gonna try to maybe get into the alpha, maybe play the game just to see what it's all about? I
don't want to hear from Gearbox until they give me Borderlands 3. All this other mess, they can miss me with it. I want Borderlands 3. That's what I want. I mean, this sounds cool or whatever, but I'm really not feeling this. I want them to go ahead and talk about Borderlands. That's it. Well,
that's the thing. Why aren't they talking about Borderlands, or why aren't they bringing out a Borderlands 3? Especially since we're so far along in the generation of consoles that we should have at least one Borderlands game by now,
Right, and we've heard all types of rumors. It's going to be at this E3, it's going to be here, or maybe it'll be at Gamescom, and we still haven't heard nothing. But yet we're hearing something about this. I'm not helping you test anything. Give me Borderlands 3.
Definitely.
Put it back in the box, huh?
I'm telling you.
What do you think about that, Triple Cup?
I feel the same way too. I want them to go ahead and bring out the Borderlands because they're 1v1. I mean, it ain't really catch my attention. Some games when you first see it, you kind of had a okay, and then you just kind of keep going like turn a page in a book. That's all that game that 1v1 game kind of look like to me. But I was like how you said, I'm more interested in that Borderlands because that'd be something that's more is a household name, and it'll be something that I'm more interested in and want to dive into to see how that is. But what I'm saying, they the developers, they want to make the games what they want to make. Some people say why they don't make new games, why they always want to make the same games they always make. And reality, because the same games is the games we really want. Like we want 343 to make Halo, we want Coalition to make Gears. And when they come out with another game, you're gonna be saying, where's my Halo? Where's my Gears? And this is a perfect example right here.
Right.
Exactly.
I'm asking, where my Borderlands 3?
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, definitely. I'm kind of on the same page with you guys as well. I think Gearbox should really be focusing on Borderlands 3, especially after the chaos and the disruption that was Battleborn, and something that should have been put back in the box as soon as it came out. But speaking of back in the box, Lawbreakers. Oh my freaking god. That game has lost its freaking mind. I mean, there's no real way of saying it, but nobody's playing this game. There's at least on a player basis, I think they said about 60% of the gamers that were playing the beta left and didn't even pick up the actual game. So what do you guys think of this? Do you guys think you're gonna pick up Lawbreakers, maybe play it? What do you think?
Man, ain't nobody was playing a beta, so the game when that was a telltale sign right there when they was trying to auction and go out and search for people to play the beta, and they couldn't get nobody to actually just play the beta. So I knew this game wasn't gonna sell. I mean, it was no way possible. Clifford B was pretty much trying to do anything he possibly can to put some hype under his game. He went up over and beyond. I mean, it backfired on him, but that game wasn't going nowhere anyway. Then he wanted to put it on a PlayStation, which is not known for shooters. It's more known for single player experiences. You gotta know the console that you're working for. Like if you wanted to work straight for a console, I know we're gonna talk about this later, but it should have been a game like Hellblade. The perfect game for a PlayStation. I mean, that's the perfect game for any system. But that'll be a game that if you want to take a risk, I'll risk something like Hellblade to go straight for a PlayStation. But a game like that, that should have been like an Xbox game because it's multiplayer central. But hey, you can't tell them, like you say, you can't tell the developers nothing. They're gonna do what they want to do, and this is what he want to do. So take your lick, Cliffy.
Well, yeah.
Take your lick.
He went to the company that has the more, you know, polish, the more beauty to it or whatever.
This is how some of them mess up, and you would think they would be smarter than that, but you know, they're developers. It's not like they're experts in every area of life. And if they would have looked at this, it makes more sense to bring it first on the Xbox because that's more of a multiplayer centric place. You know, it's still more of a quote unquote shooter box. So
right.
a lot of the player base are going to gravitate to a game like that, especially a game that is in an area that's getting kind of saturated. You know, these hero shooters. And right now, Overwatch really just kills this area. But you have paladins out there, also that's running around. So, I mean, he really made a mistake of looking at just numbers and not thinking about, okay, well, Xbox is still more of the shooter console. It's just like that. PlayStation is still more of the single player experience console. So if I have a shooter, the smartest place for me to put my game is on the Xbox, you know, and that's just what it is, you know.
Right.
And like Triple Cup said, Hellblade is perfect for coming out first on the PlayStation. And they haven't said anything about coming to Xbox, but regardless, that is a single player centric game, and that is a single player centric console.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So they made the right move, but he was just looking at numbers and saying, oh, it's 60 some odd million over here versus 30 some odd million over here. Well, I'm gonna go with the 60 some odd million, which he should not have done that.
Right.
And you know, he should. We now know why he was talking trash or trying to, you know, get the fire burning, because even the beta numbers were abysmal. So, but obviously none of that helped. And then, not to mention that his game came out on the first day, it was buggy. You know what I'm saying? People had lagging issues and all kind of stuff. So, I mean, all the way around, it just didn't work out for him.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. This game is, you know, I played the beta. It's Overwatch, and I didn't like Overwatch, and I sure as hell I'm not gonna like, you know, Lawbreakers, and you know, I wish them all the best, but I don't think this game is gonna sell. I don't think this game is gonna do well at all, and I don't think, even if it does come to Xbox, I don't think people are gonna pick this up and play it and actually have fun playing this game, because I mean, there's so many games coming out soon that, you know, this game is kind of coming out at the wrong time. If they would have came out like during the time of when Overwatch came out, almost coming around the same time, it might have actually done a lot better. But since it didn't, it's kind of like at the point of like, well, I'd rather save my money and play Uncharted at the end of the month, or play Hellblade instead.
See, that's kind of what got me too, because I liked it I did like the game for $30. You know what I'm saying? But I'm looking at, okay, well, Agents of Mayhem is coming out, and I didn't realize that Agents of Mayhem is coming out next week.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like, okay, I've been looking forward to Agents of Mayhem. So Agents of Mayhem versus Lawbreakers. I'm going with Agents of Mayhem. You know what I'm saying? And I'll see Lawbreakers later on. You know, maybe on a sale or something. So
right.
I mean, yeah. So I mean, it was a good time, but a bad time. And I mean, and it was a good decision to come out on console, but if you picked the wrong console, you know what I'm saying? He just made some bad decisions all the way around, you know?
Right. Hey, and then he want to talk about some numbers. What Cliffy B should have did, instead of saying, you know, oh, they got 60 million PlayStations out there. And, you know what I'm saying, I'm doing my semi-quotes in the air. Can't nobody see it right now. But, you know, they say 30, 40, whatever million Xboxes out there. Now, if you look at those numbers and say, well, I'll go with the PlayStation, by his game being a multiplayer central game, he should have looked at these numbers. PlayStation Plus and Xbox Live. Because his game, you got to have one of the two to play it. So he should look at and say, well, Xbox Live guy, I think they got like 67 million Xbox Live accounts that's people playing multiplayer. And if what PlayStation last was at, what, 20 million, 30 million, something like up in there. I know they had a lower number than Xbox by a long shot. So he should have looked at those numbers for starters and say, okay, well, they have more people playing online on the Xbox. So if they're going to purchase a game like this here, this will be my bigger install base, not for how many consoles just supposed to be sold in homes. He should have looked at the multiplayer aspect of it. I mean, these just simple numbers of me just talking about games, and he's supposed to have like people to tell him this type of things. But he might have took like a marketing deal and got some upfront money from Sony, and our money ain't good money if that's the case.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. This game is, we all know, like, we're at the generation of, like, exclusives don't sell as well as they used to. We're more in the generation of multi-plat, you know, where they sell a hell of a lot better than, you know, some of these other games that are out. Like, you know, I know Horizon Zero Dawn sold very well, but, you know, that had a lot of hype behind it. That had a lot of, you know, backing from Sony. You know, Sony didn't back this game for shit at all. Like, they were just like, yeah, put it on our console and that's it, you know, basically. And it's kind of sad to see that, you know, this game isn't doing so well, but at the same time, he should have kind of thought about, well, since the player base is on PlayStation, but maybe we should put it on Xbox as well, just to have maybe have a better turnout of people. And he made a mistake. And as much as I've been touting that I don't like what you know, Cliffy B has been saying in the news lately, you know, he is just being, you know, ignorant and dumb, and he should have done something about, you know, this. And it's too late now. We probably won't see a Lawbreakers 2 or something like that. I can guarantee you that. Yeah. But to get off of that subject, because that was like,
we talked about that longer than the actual game have legs to live on.
Exactly. But Hellblade Impressions, we talked a little bit about this. I know Bane's kind of gave his impressions on Hellblade. Slash to the reviews. Now, the reviews are looking kind of mixed a little bit here and there. A lot of them are really good. Most of them are pretty, you know, solid, you know, saying the game is really good. You know, if you really want to play something that along this kind of game, play this one. It's going to, you know, you're really going to enjoy it. And then there are some out there that are like, this game is trash, basically. What do you guys think of Hellblade? I don't know if TripleCupChuck, have you played it yet? I don't know yet.
No, I ain't played it yet, but I've seen a lot about it, and it really has my interest. Like, that game now, like it almost had my same interest like when I first seen Tomb Raider, and it was that like, wow, this game looks amazing. And you know how you just got to sit there, just you know, just inhale all the goodness that this game is bringing, to say that it's coming from a 6-man team, a AA game, and they actually bringing a triple. It looks like a AAA game, as in the quality of the way it looks, but I haven't got a chance to dive into the mechanics and them. But that's a game I'm really interested in, though.
Definitely, man. I think that this game is absolutely beautiful, and it is definitely a AAA experience that you're getting with this game for, you know, $30. And I touted before that I wasn't going to pick it up because I was like, well, I don't know, you know, I got so many games coming down the pipeline like Destiny 2 and you know, but I was like thinking about it, I kind of need something right now to kind of get me away from the shooters that I've been playing. And I picked it up, and especially like a lot of people were telling me the character you play as is suffering from psychosis. And that right there intrigued me the most, because I was like, damn, like to be a character and almost like playing it, you're almost going crazy yourself. Like it's insane, but it's really good. It's really well done. And like the voices you hear, you're like, where are all these coming from, you know? But you realize like it's all in her mind, and it's, you know, it's an absolute it's a mind trip, man. I tell you, I have to take breaks from this game just because of how much you know, there's so many voices and things like that.
Right. Yeah, when you get away from the game, it's almost like you can still hear some of that stuff.
Yeah, man. You know, and some of the visions like that you see are really like cool and you know, really unique and different. This game is absolutely a unique game and a very different type of game, and it's really, you know, I don't really expect anything less from Ninja Theory because they make really beautiful games. You know, they made Heavenly Sword back on the PS3, and that was a beautiful game. I know Devil May Cry DMC wasn't like a beautiful game, but it was definitely a colorful game, and it still, you know, popped. And this one really does pop.
Right, it really does, and they did a good job graphically, and like I keep saying, the immersion of the game. I mean, with the voices narrating everything for you, you really feel like you're in the experience,
Mm-hmm.
and those voices really help you out too, because sometimes you'll be, I mean, staying spoiler free, but sometimes you'll be in situations where an enemy may appear behind you, right? And
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
you won't see them because of the camera angle, but the voice will come in and say, "Look out behind you! Look out behind you!" You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's insane.
I mean, yeah, they really help you out too, along with just at some points driving you crazy, like y'all shut up. You know what I'm saying?
You want to tell them to shut up, but yet you
Yeah.
don't, especially when you're in combat, because you're like,
because
I
you
can't see
need that. You need
Yeah.
that, but it's a continuous thing, and it's crazy because the voices actually help immerse you more into what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So they
Definitely.
really did, for the team that they have. They really did a good job on this game. And you know, I'm right. The point that I'm at right now, past the first boss, it seems like it's going to be 3 bosses in the game. So I'm on the way. I mean, I've just entered the section going towards the second boss. So I mean, it's a really good game. And then they have little points where you'll stop and you'll focus in, and you'll get extra narrative, and you'll get backstory about North's mythology. I mean, it's if you're thinking about checking it out, it's $29. What they say, 68 hours. Check it out. I mean, it is
Exactly.
It really did a good job.
For $29.99, you know, for $30, I implore you to check this game out. You know,
Right.
just even if you have no interest in it, you know, maybe wait until it's on sale or something like that. But definitely play this game because I think it's an absolute you know, kind of almost a masterpiece from Ninja Theory. You know, I wouldn't say it's a masterpiece for the system, but I would say a masterpiece from them.
I mean, if you think about what they had to work with and what they're trying to do, they're trying to bring you a AAA like experience at basically a budget price. So, thinking about it in that vein, yeah, I mean, as far as what I've gone through so far, it would be a good contender for Game of the Years. I mean, as far as what I've reached so far. Unless it really muddles down throughout the rest of the game, which I don't see that happening. Not for me myself, and I'm speaking subjective. But it really has a good chance to be in some Game of the Year discussions.
Definitely. I definitely feel like it'll be a contender
Right.
from a lot of the major, you know, outings. And I think even from us, I think we'll definitely have, it'll be on our list of game of the year.
Right.
But let's move on from that. We kind of, you know, dug into Hellblade a little bit too much there.
I mean, it's a good game. It's a good game.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, right.
You want to talk about it a lot. You know, when you get a good game like that, you want to talk about it all the time.
When you get a good game like that, you don't give no excuses for digging into it. You want to dig into those. You like to let people know, hey, y'all need to, if you're thinking about it, you need to play it. You need to try to play the game. You know what I'm saying? However you
it's worth it.
Definitely.
Right.
Definitely. Well, you know, speaking of digging into games, Horizon Zero Dawn's DLC. It's coming out November 7th. Now, do you guys think that's going to kind of, you think people, because I hear a lot of people on Twitter. I don't go on Twitter a lot. You know, I don't see a lot of, you know, when I see tweets, I kind of ignore them. But I saw some tweets this week about, you know, people were saying that Horizon Zero Dawn with its DLC coming out, it's going to affect the Xbox One X coming out. And I'm all like thinking to myself, in my head, like, are you kidding me? A DLC for a game that came out in February is going to offset what Xbox is doing over there? No fucking way is that going to happen. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts on Horizon Zero Dawn and its DLC, and what do you guys think if people are really actually
that crazy?
Crazy, yeah.
Well. Let me try to provide just a little bit of context of where that argument may come from. If they were to, I've already seen some information about them dropping the PS4 Slim prices. That's coming up. So if they were to bundle Horizon Zero Dawn in with a PlayStation Slim or a PlayStation 4 Pro with the full game, including the DLC on that date, then I could see that argument. Although we know that new hardware usually wins the day.
Right.
That would be something that would give some competition to an Xbox One X dropping that day. Because you got a highly touted game, a game that is going to be, if not game of the year, it's going to be second place. You know, it's going to be the one that everybody says, oh, is it this one or is Horizon Zero Dawn? Horizon Zero Dawn is going to be in all the conversations for game of the year. The game was well received, so they're going to take the same tack that they took last year when they bundled Uncharted into their systems and sold a shit ton. They're going to do the same thing this time with Horizon Zero Dawn and their system, whether it be the PlayStation 4 Pro or whether it be a newly discounted Slim. So right. I could see the argument coming from, if you're saying it just like that, if you're coming from that venue. But just saying a DLC versus a console, that doesn't make sense. But if they bundle this thing with the Pro or bundle it with the Slim, then that makes a little bit of sense, you know?
Yeah, that'll make a lot of sense.
Definitely. What do you think, Triple Cup?
I think some people are crazy, some people delusional, some people might be the girl that's in Hellblade that's hearing voices in their mind. Sometimes you just can't mind them because that's just what people are. But I go back and I look at it like, like what it was last year before that, PlayStation was, all about delays and remasters. Now I look like this year here, they actually been all about DLC. You got your Uncharted now, you got that game, and it's like, okay, they really think you can consider that a game to be reckoned with against a whole brand new console. I don't know. They must have been sipping on some pony juice or something. That they got specially shipped from Pony Island. So I don't know what's on their mind thinking about that. And there was some about Horizon Zero Dawn. I've been hearing talking about for game of the year. I really haven't seen no exclusive game become game of the year. But if it is a contender, it got a long road to work because I'm not too big of a fan for Zelda and Mario. But at the same time, those are beloved games. So it's going to be hard to outdo Zelda or Mario in people's hearts to become game of the year. So then you got PlayerUnknown Battleground. It just pretty much that's the game I consider like a sleeper hit of the year because it just pretty much came out of nowhere. I heard of it, but then all of a sudden it just started becoming a juggernaut. So that's another game. So it's going this this year when they do like for the game of the years and stuff like that for the fighters and stuff. I mean, I think it's gonna be a really good year for that because they're gonna have a lot of interesting games coming out. But that DLC to me is just DLC. I mean, people gonna talk about that for like 2, maybe 3 days. Play it. You might see some people stream it, and they're gonna be talking about something else. I don't see nothing about no DLC that's worth really getting that hyped up about it. You might just say, oh, we got the new DLC coming for the people that already had a game. But like you said, if they bundle it, they got to do some Merlin and Magician shit to actually make that compete with the Xbox One X. They got to drop that PlayStation to like $150, the Slim. They got to drop that Pro to $300 just to compare it against the Xbox. That's the only way I can see them slowing the Xbox One X sales down. They got to do some drastic shit.
Well, that's the thing. They probably are going to do that. I mean, it's only good business for them to actually, kind of bring down the PS4 Pro to a price point to where they can combat with the Xbox One X. I think at the Xbox One X's price point though is exactly really what we're getting with that thing is absolutely. Something that we haven't seen in consoles before.
Right.
And a lot of people are sitting here saying, well, you don't know, you have no idea. Well, of course, none of us really know what's going in the damn freaking system except for what they've told us is going into the system. And from what I can see is it's gonna be fucking awesome, dude. And I cannot wait.
It's gonna be a good system, but like I said before, like if you have a game, right, an exclusive game, and this is where the exclusive argument comes up, and it has a lot of validity, because you have a game like Horizon Zero Dawn, which I know a lot of people say this and that, but the game looks really good. The game looks damn good. Okay, and you say, well, there's nothing that the Xbox One X can compare to this, 1-to-1, because you don't have a Horizon Zero Dawn on the Xbox One X. So you take Horizon Zero Dawn and you bundle it, then you have an issue. I mean, I don't know how else you will have an issue, because you're bundling a game that, even though we know is, like Triple Cup said, it's not going to get Game of the Year because your Zelda was highly touted. I think Zelda had probably the highest Metacritic of the year so far. Wasn't it like a 98, 99 or something like that?
Yeah.
So Zelda will more than likely get the game of the year. I think Mario Odyssey is going to come out too late to be considered. I'm not sure. But
I think it's stopping November.
November.
Yeah, if I'm mistaken, that's how it was last year.
Okay. Well, Zelda more than likely is probably going to get it. But still, I think if you're bundling that game, and I don't think Sony's as dumb as to say like, oh, we're just going to put out DLC versus, on the day the X comes out, and that's our answer. Like, I don't think they're that dumb.
No,
I think they're going to bundle this DLC with the game and the PS4 Pro and say, hey, look at Horizon Zero Dawn. Well, you can't look at Horizon Zero Dawn on the X and compare that. Like, you can't show the power of the X with Horizon Zero Dawn because it's not over there.
Right.
And that's how they're gonna compete on that, on when it drops.
Yeah,
that's a good strategy.
And even though we're gonna go out and get the X, a lot of people are gonna go out and get that Horizon Zero Dawn bundle. And Sony's kind of lazy with their bundles. Like, they don't do anything really extra on the console or anything like that. But just say if they did do something extra on the console, I mean, their console bundles is what pushed them over the S for the last few months of the year last year. Their bundles did it.
Because they put a sticker on it. They put a sticker in it. They put a sticker and keep it moving.
But remember, the S was killing it for a minute. Sony started dropping them bundles. You had the Star Wars bundle, you had the Uncharted bundle, and then that's what pulled it out for PlayStation for the latter part of the year.
Right.
So they're going to take that same strategy and use it this year with Horizon.
Right.
And that's the point where exclusives start to matter, Right.
Now, do you guys think that the Horizon Zero Dawn, if they do a bundle with the Horizon Zero Dawn and the DLC, do you think it will be with the Slim or do you think it will be with the Pro?
I think it would be smarter for them to do it with the Pro because the Pro is your system that is going against the Xbox One X. You know, really, if you look at it, it's the Pro versus the Xbox One X. They'll probably bundle it with the Slim too. Like if I was them, I would bundle it with all of them. You know, but the Pro is the one that's going against the X, so it's smarter to include the game with the DLC in a Pro bundle versus the X. That's smarter for them to do.
Yeah, I could see them. I could see them doing the Pro as well, but I think their strategy has to be smart. It has to be it'll probably be exactly how you said it's going to be, and it's a smart strategy. But I still think the X is gonna still gonna perform really well.
Who knows? Now Sony is starting to feel themselves. Like they starting to feel themselves. Like we on top. It don't matter. We on top. So hey, they might just throw the DLC out there and be like, oh, it's the DLC and that's it. They could do that, but I doubt it.
Is it standalone DLC? I don't think it's standalone though, right? You have to have the actual game.
It's not. That's why I said they'll bundle the DLC along with the game, so you're paying one price for that and the system. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, have we have any Pro bundles out so far? Because I don't recall.
No, I haven't seen one. No,
but they're gonna do the Destiny 2 one though.
Oh, so the Destiny 2.
That'll probably be the first one. Because it's a white console too, right?
Yep, it's a white console. It's not worth it, but it's the white console, definitely, yes.
Well, I mean, why do you say it's not worth it though? I'm trying to figure that out because
because
no deal.
I was listening to Porter Rock, and if it's the edition that he's talking about, like it's the Destiny edition with everything, like the highest one, then that edition is like $100. So how is it not worth it?
Well, I could have sworn
standard one.
Yeah, I could have sworn it was just the standard one.
I don't think it's the standard.
Yeah, because they say you save like $10 on if you get the bundle instead of purchasing like the PlayStation Pro and then the game by itself, you'll save like $10. So I'm guessing it had to be the standard.
So it is just the standard. Well, I haven't looked at it myself, but I was just listening to. Well, he the only one I heard say it really. But he was talking about like it was the deluxe edition, like the edition that gives you the DLC and all of that. And then if it's all of that, then the bundle is worth it.
Right. Then it'll be worth it. But then you know how Destiny is. They'll give you the season pass. You get the DLC. 6 months later,
you gotta buy another season pass.
Yeah, you gotta buy another season pass. You gotta buy this. You got the Rise of Iron 2.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of people sit here and talk about Destiny as it being a bad thing for them to, sell you guys expansions and stuff. But here's the thing. Okay, this game is an MMO. And what have MMOs been doing for a long time now? And the only reason why it's so irking to us console gamers is because we're not used to it. We don't get paid expansions, a lot of the time. We get paid DLC, like Horizon Zero Dawn, what they're doing, but we don't get like expansions like what MMOs do. And so I think a lot of people were turned off by that because it's a console game, and we have to evolve when it comes to games like that, because not saying that Destiny is a fantastic game, it's the best game ever. It's not. It's definitely not. It's just it has elements to it that get people and a community addicted to it or into it, and really want to play it because of the expansions. And I think when people sit here and say well, we don't want the expansions, we don't want to have to pay for that. Well, look at WoW. Look at how much those expansions are every year.
I mean, to me, it'd been cool if they wouldn't have came out with a Destiny 2. They would have stayed with a Destiny 1 and then just kept adding expansions. Yeah. I think that'd have been more acceptable than, okay, we got your Destiny 1, then you purchase all this stuff. Now all that was for a waste of time. Now we got the Destiny 2 coming out, and it's gonna be a recycle and rinse and repeat system. So I think that's gonna be more people irk a lot of people nervous about that more aspect of it.
Well, that's the thing with Destiny 2. they learned a lot of stuff from the first Destiny. They learned a lot of faults and a lot of things that they shouldn't have done that they did, and they continued to do a little bit throughout the lifespan of the first Destiny. And they, Bungie realized that, if they want to continue this game, they want to continue the legacy of Destiny, they may want to come out with a sequel that is tighter, better, and has more of a story. And I think they kind of want to start fresh, and that's why they kind of only are allowing you to transfer over your character. None of the character's gear, but you can actually have your character. In the new Destiny, you just can't have any of the gear. And I think that what they're doing is interesting. It's not great. I mean, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but at least they're trying to cater to both sides, the new players and the older players. The older players.
What I think what they should have did everybody a solid. If they wanted to remap the whole game, they should have just made it a big expansion. Everybody get it for free and just redo the whole game, pretty much how they did Killer Instinct, right? When they came out with Killer Instinct Season 3. They said they pretty much remapped the whole game. They added more lightning to the game, or light to the game. They added more frames. They made it more stable, and it's pretty much a whole nother game. But if you have it already, it's just a downloaded patch. So instead of them doing the Destiny 2, they could have took all those assets that they was doing to resell people for $59 who've been purchasing all this stuff. All these Destiny fans, they could have did everything they did, but just added into the first Destiny because they said it's supposed to be 10 years. So now it's like, to me, they word don't mean nothing. So if they would have just did that and did everybody else solid, put the game out for everybody, and when you got it, like the newbies that coming in to keep it all fresh, they could have did the exact same thing, had the big catastrophe happening, everybody losing the stuff, and now you pretty much got to start over and grind. You keep some of the stuff that you keep and the stuff that you couldn't keep. I think people have been more happy with that than still have to pay $59 or $89 or $100-something to purchase this game again.
Yeah, well, that's the thing with a lot of the people that I know and I talk to who are huge Destiny fans. They're really huge into Destiny. They are, they're MMO fans too. But they said, for Destiny 2 to be coming out, they're absolutely excited because of the fact that you'll be able to keep your character, but they love the fact that it's a new experience with Destiny, and the fact that it's a whole new grind for them. A lot of people who play MMOs, they love the grind. They love that kind of stuff, and so that's why they're excited for it.
I think the new experience is not that much the argument. It's the argument that they didn't really have to make another game, because even though I like Destiny 2 and I enjoyed the beta, I'm there day one. Playing through it, it was obvious to me they didn't have to make a whole nother game. They could have just, did some revamping like TripleCup was saying and continued on with the first game,
Yeah.
But I mean, that aside, it still looked like they've done a lot to make up for what they missed out in the first game. And I can kind of understand them wanting to wipe the slate clean, because the other one started out really bad. Everybody was talking about, hey, you don't have any story in this. What are you doing?
Right.
So now they just want to wipe the slate clean. Just forget about Destiny 1. Let's move on to Destiny 2. And so I can understand that too.
Yeah. And the price point, yes, is definitely, it hurts a little bit, but you got to think about it. Destiny 1 was 3 years old. It's been out for 3 years. So, a lot of people who dug into Destiny and really got into it are jonesing for a sequel. So, to see what Bungie's doing and what they've heard from what Bungie's doing, they're loving it. At least from what I've heard, and at least from the circles that I've been talking to, they're absolutely ecstatic for it. But let's get off of Destiny. Screw that game. No.
Hey, give me Battlefield any day.
Hey man, when you have good gaming conversation, it just go anywhere. You go with it.
So true. But I swear that this is gonna be our last, not our last ever, but our last topic about PlayStation tonight. Well, there's some multiplats on here, but this will be the last one that's exclusively to PlayStation, and it's their new superhero sim for VR called Megaton Rainfall. Now, did you guys see the trailer for this thing? To me, it looks like a fucking indie, and I'm like, trash. Get that shit out of here.
See, we know how you feel about indies. Yeah, man. I mean, it looked interesting. That's all I say. I would not pay 64. I would not pay 30 for it. I'll pay maybe $10 for it. 10 to 15, 15 at the max. You know what I'm saying? At $15, I think I can enjoy this game. I mean, like I said, it looks interesting. It has some interesting attributes too. Like you have to be careful about how you use the superpowers because they can affect the population. And how you affect the population, so that determines your game. So that's interesting. But like I said, we'll see. No higher than $15 for me. So if it comes out at 19, then I'm waiting for a sale. But I mean, it piqued my interest. I have to say that. But I knew you was gonna say that about it because it looks like an indie game. You just anti-indie.
I'm not anti-indie. I'm anti anything that looks like fucking trash. And that game, to me, it looks like
anything that look like an indie, huh?
Well, yeah, I mean, I like certain indies. I played Little Nightmares. I loved it. I thought it was an awesome game. I thought it was a lot of fun.
I mean, that was an amazing looking game.
Yeah, exactly. It's an amazing looking game. I liked Inside. I loved Limbo. I love all the Telltale games. I know a lot of people say those aren't indies. They are indies, you dumb shit.
No, I'm not a dumb.
I don't know Telltale.
They are not indies.
They're indies, damn it.
I had to get them a double.
You paid $24 for them. Come on.
Right.
They small stories though. They small stories.
But they're indies to me, okay? All right. If you guys don't like them, or
okay, well, you got some high standards.
That is true. I do.
It's up there. It's all the way up there.
Well, that's the thing with this game, the Megaton Rainfall. I was kind of like, when I saw the trailer, I was like, okay, it looks like VR, and then all of a sudden they say, oh yeah, coming to PlayStation VR, and I was like, okay, well that makes sense. But it also looks like something that you won't have to play in VR, right? I mean, it kind of looked like a game that you wouldn't have to play in VR as well. I mean, it's got destructible environments, which is a plus there. It just from what I have to kind of agree with Baines here on the price point. If this game comes out at $20, it's not going to sell. I think if it comes out at maybe $15 or $10, then it'll definitely sell. I think a lot of people will pick it up and play it, especially since if they have PlayStation VR and stuff. Right.
It seems like it was suited more towards VR, but they are saying that the article was stating that it's coming to VR as kind of an aside, like saying you'll be able to have that experience too, but this is mainly focused on like controller and you being the superhero and flying around the world and trying to take care of whatever whatever comes up. You just handling business.
Save the world.
Is it me or did it kind of look like that trash game No Man's Sky? I don't know why, but I had a
tell me how you get No Man's Sky, because I didn't get that at all.
Because you're flying through space and shit, and then like you land on a planet and then you like destroy the same looking aliens. It's a little different because the other game you're actually mining for resources, but
the other game that we're going to talk about later, it hits me more like
you're right. That's
this
true.
One. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This one is just some type of. I mean, it's just like they say it is. It's a superhero sim. Like you are the superhero. You know what I'm saying? You have to make sure that the powers that you use, you have to think about it because they can have different effects on the human population. So that's the other kind of meta game to this, which makes it kind of intriguing there. But other than that, like I said, it's just it depends on the price point. I'm there at $15 or below. I'm there. But if it's higher than that, then I'm straight. I'm moving on.
Well, and it's also coming out in September, and there's
Right,
quite a few games that are coming out in September. Destiny's not just the only one. I think there's even NBA, right?
Yeah,
I think it is
2K.
coming out. 2K coming out in September.
Yeah, they gonna have a hard time. Y'all was saying $10-15. I say it should be like what that is, Marble Omega.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And they should just like pretty much a free to play game and they charge you for the different superpowers that you want. I don't really
smart.
I don't really see too many people purchasing that game. I mean, it look there. I mean, it's no way of really, talking good about the game besides for something different. I mean, it don't pique my interest. It's not like one bit. I looked at it looked like it's there. But but me personally, I'm not putting no VR. The VR, I'm not putting that on my head. I'm just not doing it. I watched somebody on YouTube play a game in VR on YouTube, and I got sick as a dog just watching him play a game, him standing in a circle shooting zombies. And I watched it for about 15 minutes. I'm talking about all my eyes red. I felt like I had to throw up. I'm standing walking back and forth to the toilet trying to, how like, help me. And they looking at me like, what's wrong with you? I said, I was watching something on YouTube and it was somebody playing a game in VR. And they looking at me like, what is wrong with you? I was like, man, I was curious. I said, man, I never put that on my head. If I put that on my head, if that do that to me when I'm watching it, somebody playing it on YouTube, I could imagine me having it on my head live in 3D in real life, just Bionic Central. That's all nope. They can have that. I mean, that's just not for me. Some stuff ain't for people. That ain't me. I never put it on my face.
Speaking of stuff not for me, Shape the World, not for me. I don't think this game's going to be good. I think it's going to be trash because it looks like an indie trash, and it looks like No Man's Sky. What the hell is this game? I have no idea what the hell this game is because, like, I saw the trailer and I was all like, I don't get what you're going to do in the game, like, at all. You're just going to fly around like that.
Yeah, basically, you just flying around and I don't know what else. I mean, it seems like the creator during the in the article, he was basically stating like he wanted this to be like a serene experience. Like you come home from a hard day at work and you fly through this area and you just got this good. I guess the soundtrack is supposed to be really inviting and it just helps you calm down going through all the trees and everything like that. But I other than that, I mean, I don't really see the appeal for it. If I'm gonna do my price points on this one, this is $5.99 all day.
Yeah, it looks like one of those games that is just you're only gonna pay a few bucks for it. I honestly can't see you paying $20 or $15 for this game, unless it's unless you're really into those kind of games, then maybe you might. But I can't see them charging a lot for it. What do you think?
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I plead the fifth. That's another. I'm not big. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not big on indies either. I mean, I'm the same way. It got to look appealing for me to even catch my interest. Like an indie game, what I consider most of the indie games is pretty much single A and double games that just got the little extra little effort to it. Like the new R and the blind or what it is. It's not Blind Forest. The Ori and the
Will-O-Wisp.
Yeah, Will-O-Wisp. Man, that game looked beautiful. I mean, they say it's not an indie because Microsoft backing them, but small games like that I could play because it looks good. But a lot of the indie games that I be seeing that look like stick figure, not stick figures, but like shout out to stick figure, the real stick figure. But I'm talking about like the video game. Stick figure. Yeah, but I'm talking about like the video game stick figures, like what I'm saying, somebody walking around doing something, a Soda Drinker Pro, or these little bitty small games, or even a game like the the VR game that said they took it too far. The work simulator. I'm like, who gonna go to work, come home from work to put on the helmet to play like they at work? Too much. Like certain games, I really overlook them just because of they don't catch my eyesight for the first day, because the first thing you do is you see a game, so you got to catch my interest, hear what the game is about. A lot of those little games just not catching my interest. So that's another one that I kind of like. PlayStation, get your game up. Give me something more than DLC and small indie games that you fly around like No Man's Sky.
Yeah, what's up with them in flight, man? They love those kind of games over there. It's weird. I think for us, we're more shooter guys. We love the shooters. But let's move on to Shadow War getting microtransactions. What do you guys think of this? Do you guys think that they're going to put in microtransactions that are going to be like something like, almost get you weapons to defeat enemies real quick, or do you think they're going to be like,
that's what it is. Like, you can buy loot boxes for like legendary items to help you get through the game if that's what you're trying to do. And
see, that's so ridiculous.
My thing is they didn't need to do this. Shadow of Mordor was a critical success. You know what I'm saying? So people are going to and we're going to buy this just off the strength of that last game. Right. A lot of people are looking forward to this game, so they really didn't have to put this into this single player experience. And when I saw that you are able to buy these, you can even buy orcs, legendary orcs and stuff like that to help you with in your battle. And so I'm like, man, come on. So even if you did buy this stuff, like, why would you want to do that and make your experience like that
dumb
much?
It down.
Right. You know what I'm saying? You're just taking away from the game. They're taking away, in my opinion, they're taking away from the Nemesis system. Like, the Nemesis system this time is there for you to build kind of like pseudo relationships with these orcs and for them to help you in battle. So why do you want to just go buy one? So it makes no sense to me. They didn't have to do this, but they're doing this because this is the way the industry's going. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to nickel and dime you, and they're trying to find a way to do that in every game. And now this is starting to seep into our single player experiences, which is kind of, it kind of lets you down a little bit. But, I'm still looking forward to the game.
Yeah, I got a
Go ahead.
No, I'm about to say I got a completely different observation about this here. If a person on a single player game, if they want to purchase something from $9.99 or $10 or $20 or let's say $19.99, that'd be a good price. If I say, hey, we got this for $19.99, it'll get you to the last boss and you can kill it with one lick for $20.
See, that's so crazy to me. I don't know
if a person, yeah, but look, if a person purchased that and he purchased a $60 game, then he purchased something for $20 to go straight to the end boss and beat him with one lick. What is the purpose of you playing this game? But it's there for you to do that. So as long as it ain't on no multiplayer to make somebody invincible where you can't beat them, saying you playing to win. But if let's say me in a single player experience, I'm there to enjoy the ride, the journey of the game. The hard parts when I get killed and I cuss out the controller. And my Elite controller right now, the grips are gone because I squares it so tight. And I'm like, those moments is what make gaming. But if you want to sit there and pay money for loot boxes and orbs and stuff like that, and you pretty much you paying to play less game. So that's on you.
You paid for the game. You paid for the game one time for $60, and then you're paying to play less of the game because in instance you are playing less because you're getting through it faster because you are now at a much higher level than you should because you paid for it again. You know what I'm saying? That it makes no sense to me. And like I said again, they did not have to do this because people are going to buy Shadow of War off the strength of Shadow of Mordor. It was a good game, so they didn't have to do this. I don't understand. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand why they did it. Well, I understand why they did it, but I just don't want this stuff creeping into my single player experiences. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
Keep it in multiplayer.
Well, that's the thing. It's already creeped into single player experiences with, you know, Assassin's Creed and Ubisoft. You know, they've had this kind of thing for years. You know, just having microtransactions here and there where you can buy weapons and things like that. And I know these ones are a little different because you can buy loot boxes to where you can, you know, have a chance to win something there or something good. But I mean, it's really on the consumer to decide if they want to buy these things or not. You know, if they go out and they buy these, you know, it shouldn't really matter to us because I mean, yeah, it kind of tarnishes the game, it kind of makes it look bad, but at the end of the day, you know, we're not going to do that. We're not going to go out there and we're going to buy these things because we want to play that single player experience, you know, to our full potential and level up our characters. And because we're, you know, a lot of us are old school gamers, so we like to, you know, have those, you know, grinding moments, I guess, you know. We're just kind of like that because we've almost kind of been like that since the beginning.
We were conditioned for that.
Right, exactly. And we've been like that because of the NES, you know, and the Sega Genesis, because, you know, a lot of those games that were on those systems were really hard, but it was repetition and it was grinding and it was trying to get to the next level and try to, you know, get to that point to where you can, you know, get to the boss. And, you know, for us, it makes more sense, but for a lot of people, I think, you know, nowadays they're like, oh, I'd rather just pay to get to the end. And
see, back then you could brag and say, hey, yo, I got to the boss and this is how I beat him, or I got past this part and this is how I did it. Now, if you brag, people gonna be looking at you sideways, like, did you pay for that? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Hey, as long as one thing about the single players experience, I hope they do not do. They don't short stop you with paying for stuff, as in you gotta pay. Like, let's say if you playing a game and they make something ridiculously too impossible to do, to almost force your hand to have to pay for something. Like you might be playing the game and you might need 1,000 hours to get this key to open up the door to get to the last boss. So, or you can pay $4.99. So, you know, as long as they don't do nothing extremely crazy like that with the single player experiences, I'm cool with it. If a person want to just skip to the end, that's on their body. I want to sit here and play the game and enjoy the game. But if you make it where I can't get to the end unless I pay for it, that's when I have a problem.
Well, especially if you're paying for a game that is at the base game $60, you know. But if you're paying $100, of course you don't want to pay any more to you know, get to the end, because you're paying that money so you can play the game and experience the game the way you love to experience it. And, you know, for them to add microtransactions, I've always kind of disagreed with it, even though I'm a huge Assassin's Creed fan. I've always disagreed when they did that. And you know, I saw a lot of people multiplayer in those games, you know, with freaking badass weapons, but I would still kill them because they weren't smart enough, you know, or they didn't know how to maneuver their characters enough. So, you know, I think for them to do it in a single player campaign, it doesn't really make any sense. I mean, if it's going to give you a weapon that's going to make you a god, it's like, what's the point? You know, like, honestly, there's no point to it.
Hey, unless you want to brag, look at me, I'm invincible. Look at me, I'm invincible.
right, exactly. Unless you can tout on Twitter or something like that, or on YouTube and be like, hey, look at me, I bought this thing for $20 and I'm God, you know, in this game. It's just like, you just look like an idiot at that point. It's absolutely crazy. But let's move on. Let's move on from that.
The trend. Yeah.
Because we kind of got a little sidetracked with that one. But Titanfall 2, the people at Respawn were saying that the game should have sold better, but they are going to make a third game. Now, do you guys think that the third game's still going to kind of have a single player campaign? Do you think that the multiplayer is going to be better this time around, or what do you think they're going to do? Do you think they're going to do some really good stuff with this one, or you know,
they're going to go back down to their roots? Yeah, Titanfall 2, what they gonna, I mean, the next Titanfall, what they gonna do is, I really think they're gonna reevaluate what they had did on that on the second Titanfall. They like, okay, we sold over 10 million on just the Xbox alone when it was in the beginning of its life cycle. And now, you know what I'm saying, a couple years down the line, when they have more consoles on both systems and we couldn't sell half as much, what did we do wrong on Titanfall 2? Oh, I know what we did. We changed Titanfall 1. So they're gonna go back to Titanfall 1, bring back the same core mechanics they had on the first one. They're gonna pretty much add another single player, add a couple more things, and then they're not gonna sit there and boast about the PlayStation because they realizing this finally about time. You know, same thing go with the Lawbreakers. They're gonna realize the multiplayer games is more Xbox central. Look at the numbers of saying who on Xbox Live. That should tell you who gonna purchase and play this game. So what they're gonna do is go back to what they did on the first one, talk back to the people with the Xbox. I mean, if you notice, they said, "Oh, Titanfall 2, we was able to get it up to 6K." You know, they trying to butt up the people with the on Xbox. You know, that's pretty much what that was about. Yeah,
Yeah.
we cool with y'all. Green discs matter too. So they gonna be back with us. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Titanfall 3 don't be back in exclusive for the Xbox, just on general purpose of it's gonna sell better just off the Xbox than it did on both on consoles. So it's like one of those weird situations where a game sell more on one console than it actually sell by being on both consoles. I know the math don't add up, but it actually, that's just, if you look at it, that's what it does.
Right, and that's the thing. I think, you know, what they did with Titanfall 2, I think they kind of learned their mistake, and they really understood, like, maybe we shouldn't have done what we did and say what we did, especially since we had a marketing deal with Microsoft. And man, this game could have sold a lot better if they would have, not pissed off the Xbox community and said what they said. But I think, a lot of people also, I think there was a lot of people out there that didn't even know that it was going to be on PlayStation either. And plus, it was coming out at a time right in between Call of Duty and Battlefield 1. So it was kind of like, shit, this game is definitely not going to sell because of the fact that Call of Duty and Battlefield 1 are absolute freaking juggernauts when they come out. And, this game was bound to get crushed.
Yeah, I think it was more about placement with the game, placement when it came out. It came out between some juggernauts. I think that you were selling it to an audience that did not play the first game and did not know that you did not really need to play the first game in order to play the second game. You brought Titanfall 2 to PlayStation, but they never played Titanfall 1. So a lot of people have a disconnect when it comes to those numbers. They're like, oh, 1 and now this is 2, but I didn't play 1, so I'm not going to play 2. So that was a mistake. And then maybe the overall, this is another situation where the overall mindset was maybe not in the right place. You sold on Xbox and you sold really well on Xbox. You're trying to sell to a PlayStation community that did not play your first game. So the smartest thing at that point in time, probably would have been to just stay on Xbox, because they wind up doing less than they did on the first go around by going to 2 platforms, which is really, really crafty. They not for any like fanboy type bullshit, but just to be completely honest and looking at it on a business, from a business standpoint, it probably would have been smarter just to stay with the Xbox, because I'm pretty sure the community would have picked it up in droves, just like they did the first one. Mm-hmm. Which the first one started off slow, and it picked up steam as it went.
But also the first one came out, around a time where there wasn't anything at that point. Yeah, so it came out at a good time. Yeah. And 2 didn't come out at a good time at all. So I think they kind of learned their lesson from that.
I mean, think about it. Y'all was saying like Battlefield and Call of Duty was the juggernauts, right? Yeah. But at the same token, Titanfall 1, the way that sold, they was looking at that was a juggernaut as well.
Right.
So the time by being mixed in between those games, I could kind of understand it killing the sales a little bit, but by it being, it was a juggernaut in its own right. But it should have came out in March like the first one did. So the third one should come out in March again. So that's their goal, man, right there around that time frame there. But they need to do one thing: go back to their roots, go back to the basics. That's what they need to do. I mean, keep the single players, the story mode. Go back to how the first one was. Take that battery pulling stuff out. Bring the cloud back. You know what I'm saying? Give the game back what it needs. Do it justice. Because if they don't do it justice on this third one, that's it. No more Titanfall.
That's true.
See, the thing that a lot of people, because of all the other mess that went on, and then they didn't have a good technical test. You know, a lot of people didn't like it after that technical test. But they fixed a lot of that stuff. Like a lot of the game now is more like the first game. It really is. The multiplayer is really good. There's not that much of a difference from Titanfall 1 besides the cloud and besides the way they do the Titans. And versus Titanfall 2, they really did go back to their roots. But people don't know that because of all the other mess that went on, and they just discarded the game.
Right.
So
it might be too late now, though.
Yeah, I really do think it's too late because they're trying to push it, giving you these free days to play, and all of this is now on EA Access. But they just needed to stay. I don't know. They need to stay off of Twitter and stop doing all that mess, you know, because not having a good technical test, number one, all this mess, number two, number three, you're selling to an audience that didn't play your first. You're trying to push to an audience that didn't play your first game. So, like I said, that psychological thing, a lot of people don't want to pick up 2 if they haven't played 1. So you have that working against you. You know what I'm saying? When really, in reality, you did go back and fix a lot of stuff. And Titanfall 2's multiplayer is really close to Titanfall 1. But a lot of people is not going to give it a chance. A lot of people don't know that because of all the other mess that went on. You know what I'm saying? So it was just bad all the way around with this one for them. I think they do need to make another one. They need to have their single player, and then they just need to improve upon what they've already done because it's still, you know, make some small changes.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll be able to go back to the cloud because they're not with. I mean, I don't know what PlayStation would use for the cloud because they're not going to use anything from Microsoft. You know, they don't want to do that.
I mean, but that would be on PlayStation, though. I mean, if they don't use the cloud, then give them the game that, you know what I'm saying, don't do the parity. Give us the best game that we possibly could have and get them the best game that they possibly could have. Don't hold Xbox players back because of other console players.
That's
you
true.
know, when they was giving them 1080p and getting up 900p, they wasn't holding them back. Say, we can't give y'all 1080p because Xbox can't do 1080p, so we're going to give y'all 900p too. No, they ain't do that, so don't do that with us.
Right.
I don't know what that would entail as a developer. I don't know if they would have to do anything extra. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that would be an ideal situation. Like, you know, if PlayStation didn't want to use a cloud, then to just do that on Xbox. But I don't know what type of extra manpower or labor that may take for those devs to keep up with something like that.
I mean, if Xbox got the marketing rights for Titanfall 3, I think, you know what I'm saying, they obligated to, you know what I'm saying, give us the best experience. I mean, that would be the only reason why. If Phil Spencer not going to go out for no content holding from another system, because, you know, they ain't the things that he do. What he could do is give us more content where he ain't holding it back from the other players. They just can't do it. So if you paying for marketing rights, get something like that where they add stuff for your system. Don't take away from the other system. Get them where they have, you know what I'm saying, make them work. You know what I'm saying? They get paid.
Think about it, like what extra would they have to do to keep up with? Because, you know, there's some extra coding and stuff that has to be done with if you're gonna have like a version on Xbox that's dealing with the cloud and then a version on PlayStation that's not dealing with the cloud. There's gonna be a little more upkeep on the Xbox version because it's dealing with something that's just different, right? So I don't know how that would affect money or anything with, you know, with their dealing. So I don't know if that would be possible. That's why a lot of people sometimes it's easier to let a system just, you know, output the resolution that it's powerful enough to do. We have to be honest that the Xbox just wasn't powerful enough to put out the same resolution. So sometimes it may be easier to do that versus doing something that's more involved, like dealing with the cloud, you know? So, I mean, I just don't know what extra that might entail, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
but it would be cool for that to happen, like them to give us the version that deals with the cloud, since Microsoft has that available. And then if PlayStation didn't want to deal with it, then they just have a different version there. It would be cool if they did that.
right.
All I know is give me Titanfall 2's campaign and give me Titanfall 1's multiplayer, and I will be happy. But let's get away from the Titanfall talk, because we kind of dug that one into the ground tonight. Xbox finally getting Spotify. Now, what do you guys think of this? I mean, it's basically expected. I mean, you know, Facebook owns Spotify, so, you know, we kind of, you know, knew that Xbox, especially since they partnered with Facebook, we were going to get Spotify. Are you guys going to be using Spotify when it comes to Xbox, or are you just going to stick with Groove or whatever other music system or whatever other music app you guys use?
The feature is cool, you know. It's always good for, you know, these extra features. I'll probably stick with Groove though, to be honest, for the PlayStation. I mean, not for the PlayStation, but for the Xbox.
But that's the thing. Like, I already have a Spotify subscription, so I'm definitely gonna go with Spotify because, you know, I already have that. I already am established there.
But see, I'm all the way.
I didn't get a Groove subscription, so I don't really care about Groove.
I'm out all the way around because I use Google Play Music. And nobody seems to be putting that on their system. So I use Google Play. So I mean, you know, Groove. Whenever I can get me a free trial, I do that. But you know, it's just another music. Yeah, it's just another music service, man. I'm neither here nor there. It's cool that it's come to the system. But other than that, you know, I'm not worried about it. I get on my system and play games. You know what I'm saying? Like the only time I really listen to music is like when I'm playing Forza. You know, that's the only time I listen to like other music. But
yeah, I wonder if they're gonna like do a update or something like that, and kind of give us an option to use Spotify with Forza or
they should make it one of the radio stations. That would be cool.
That would be cool. Yeah. Definitely. What do you think, Triple Cup? Are you going to use Spotify? Or are you going to stick with Groove? Or are you going to say, fuck the music apps?
All right. I'm going to say no to the first and the second one. And I'm going to say yay to the third one. Fuck the music apps. Because me personally, this is the honest truth. This is what I do. When I be playing NBA 2K, first thing I do is I go into options and the music, turn it all the way off. And when I turn the music off, because I like to hear the sound effects, like when I'm dribbling a ball and the way the feet moving, and when I shoot the ball and hitting off the rim. Another game would be like, I was just saying, but for Horizon 3, I turn the music down. I don't like something about music and me playing games is that the multitask, because I might be listening to the music and I'm just grooving, and all of a sudden I ain't focused. Yeah, I mess up a lot. So I turn the music all the way off, and then when I'm in Forza, I had a surround sound on, and I'm playing, and you can hear the engine wearing up, and then you hitting the gas, and you seeing and I like the sound effects in Forza, the real sound effects, like the car movements, and when you hit another car and you come around the corner and you hear the tires just spinning and screw, you hear it just going. I'm like, the music kind of take that out of there. You can't really hear it as well, but when you take the music out, it sounds like you're really in the car, and you can hear all the engines in the car going. And I mean, it's just me personally. I'm just not too big on. I don't listen to music while I'm playing the game. Period. That's just my personal thing. I do. I know we got some people got a sound bar when they in party chats that you could hear it all the way across the country.
Jam bam.
Yeah, that was, you know. But me personally, I don't have no music going. That just ain't my thing. So it's cool because I'm like a person. Even if I don't like it, I still like it for the people that like these type of things. You know what I'm saying? It's for somebody else. So I'm happy for somebody else to being able to get it. So I'm happy for y'all that like that type of thing. So if you got options.
Right.
Well, I think the way you play it is, it sounds more immersive, man. It sounds like you really get into the game, especially when it comes to NBA 2K or Forza. It sounds like you just you love the sounds of the cars and the dribbling of the ball and stuff, and that that's kind of more of an immersive kind of way of playing these types of games. So I can kind of see where you're coming from there. It makes sense, to turn off the music because you don't want to be grooving to it and then also fuck up or whatever. But yeah, Spotify, it's going to be all great. It's going to be cool. But, we'll see when it comes out. Sea of Thieves, though, that came back into the news with Rare talking about how it has huge ambitions for this game. Now, for me personally, I don't give a shit about Sea of Thieves. Everybody knows that. I just have no interest in this game, man. And I know that there are a lot of people in the community that love this game and think it's going to be an awesome, experience. I know, playing with friends, it was fun, when I was playing with friends, playing through it. I mean, me and Beans went through there and we're getting all drunk and shit and doing stupid crap. That's fun. But at the end of the day, it was like, okay, it was okay. It wasn't the best, experience, but it was fun for a little while. Now, I don't think that, the way that they're touting their ambitions for this game, I don't think the game's going to really live up to those. So what do you guys think?
Go ahead, TripleCup.
All right. First thing I want to say is when I look at the logo on this podcast, the first thing I always thought about was Sea of Thieves. When I hear Quest, first thing I think of is Sea of Thieves. And you have the audacity.
I know, man.
They break my heart like that.
They need to hit us up, man. We giving them free promotion. We're not even trying to.
Right. And it's just something about it. But with me, I'm not in the alpha, so I pretty much could speak freely. Never was. And I might not be in that because I might say some stuff that might be in the game, and then they be trying to get mad at me because I'm just saying random stuff out of the top of my head. But for me, it looked like it's gonna be one of them games that I'm gonna love to play. It's just the whole concept of the immersion of the open world with everybody in just one world playing the game. Because see, I was a big Ark player. I mean, I know a lot of people can't stand Ark. They didn't put enough time into Ark. But when I first seen Sea of Thieves, I said, this remind me of an Ark game about pirates instead of dinosaurs and stuff. So it's like, in Ark, it had a lot of politics stuff going on. Like people get these gold, these Ingrams that you get out of metal, and people use that to sell, to trade, and doing other things. A person might have stole something from you, and y'all going back. I mean, it's like a whole. I'm trying to think of it's like adventures that's made pretty much off of what you do, and it's like it can't be scripted. It's like playing Battlefield on a multiplayer, and something just catastrophic amazingly happening. You just be like, man, did y'all just see that? I had to record that to show, because it's like something that you can't script. It's just stuff that just randomly happen, and the way you interact with other people, you don't know what they're gonna do. They might try to steal something from you, blame it on somebody else, and now you over there going back with this person here trying to figure out who did what, and y'all going to go do this mission. And when y'all go on this mission, y'all see this other boat, they trying to do the same thing. Y'all might team up together, then y'all might cross the other one back, and then all of a sudden now they won with you. They might try to chase y'all across, because it's all different types of pirate type stuff that goes on. You could be a pirate that rob another pirate ship and just try to shoot across the other sea. It might be a week or two later, this pirate ship to say, I remember these pirates. Y'all see that flag that they have that's unique? Y'all remember them? Let's go over there and destroy their whole ship just on the general purpose of they stole from us. So they've been chasing us for a whole week and finally catch up with us, and we doing different things, and we going out there, not just treasure hunting, but just going to get resources and stuff. I mean, it's just a whole bunch of different things that can go on. You might make alliances with other ships. Well, it's my crew, your crew, another crew, and it might be like 4 different crews. We not, we not together officially, but we might be together and made one big crew, and then we may just ramshack other pirate ships that might come through. So they see 6 pirate ships coming across, and they in one pirate ship. They might be in a big ship, but we got 4, 5, 6 ships, and we could take over their ship, take all their resources. I mean, there's so much stuff that can go on, and then all of a sudden we beefing between the different communities. It's endless. It's kind of hard to explain. It's like one of the things you have to see to experience. But by me playing Ark, I kind of, when I seen that, I already knew, like, I just knew the type of game that it was and how it's gonna catch my interest. The only thing about it is I hope they don't have it where you gotta every 5 minutes you gotta eat or get something to drink, and you know they take that out the game. I'm cool and I'm be ready with it. I'm be diving day one when they come out. I'm with it. Sea of Thieves, I'm a pirate, baby.
Speaking of pirates, Skull and Bones is coming as well, and it's apparently gonna get a single player campaign. But
wait, man, you didn't get mine.
I didn't get yours. Oh, my bad, bro.
Yeah, my
so
bad.
Go ahead and say stuff. I know you ran for a little while. I was like, did Baines get in his little spiel about?
What's good with it?
He doing a damn infomercial about MC.
I know, right? Definitely, but
no, man.
I was in my little world for a minute.
Give us your
I feel you on the Sea of Thieves, but I'm kind of with Artemis, man. I mean, we played this thing, and you know, it was enjoyable for the time that we played it. But then when you sit back and just really think about it, if it's a $60 game, I don't think that I would just get the time of it, because I wouldn't go back and play it. Like, it wasn't anything that pulled me to go back, because it still didn't give me. Sometimes I like to have, well, not really sometimes, a lot of times I like to have an objective, and like an objective that seems like it's going to mean something at the end. And it didn't really feel like Sea of Thieves has that. It just seems like it's just a lot of mindless fun. You know what I'm saying? And so that may be cool.
It's about pirates.
Sometimes. Yeah, it may be cool sometimes, but $60 and $60 and sometimes don't go together. You know what I'm saying?
Oh right, yeah.
If I'm spending 60, it need to be all the time or a lot of the time. You know what I'm saying? And it's just not gonna go. Like, I'm not, unless something drastically changes with the game. I'm not gonna be there. You know, I'm straight. Cool.
Well, they add story objectives to it on your treasure hunts.
Now, if they do that, then that'll pique my interest again, you know. But we'll just have to see. You know, I like the deal where they were talking about the Kraken, but we didn't get to see anything. But they talked about, you know, having a Kraken and having your ship go up against Kraken. That sounded cool. But I need some story objectives. You know, something that makes me feel like I'm fulfilled at the end of my playthrough. And you know, even with our playthrough, we had fun, but I really didn't get like, you know, I didn't get like I you know, achieved anything, like I did anything. Like I said, it was just mindless fun. And
yeah,
you know,
but keep in consideration it's a beta, alpha.
Yeah, I feel you, but I don't think too much gonna change with the game. They still talking about the same stuff that they've been talking about.
Yes.
You know, throughout the whole experience anyway. So I don't think too much else is going to change, you know, but I know it's got an audience, and I know it's got a lot of people. I'm hoping it has legs, because Microsoft, you know, they're putting a lot of oomph behind this game. They're really touting it, you know. So I hope it does well, but I just won't be on board any type shit.
Well, you can walk the plank then.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to walk the plank, man. I'm gonna have to walk the plank on that one.
I'm down.
I mean, it's Sea of Thieves, whatever. Who cares? But before I was rudely interrupted by Baines because he had to get in his thoughts on the Sea of Thieves. Skull and Bones is getting a single player campaign, but apparently it's not really your typical single player campaign. It's more like, it's not really a campaign, right, Baines? I mean, it's more like
it's just kind of like
of the multiplayer, right?
Right, like you playing the PvP, and then your experience through the PvP somehow that's supposed to be your single player campaign. That's the vision that this dude has. So it's not really like you by yourself. I mean, you can do PvE, but it's basically the same thing as PvP. So it's not really like there's a story or immersive story built up. It's just like you're playing the multiplayer, and somehow, that's woven into some type of, you'll get some type of story from that. So we'll see. It sounds crummy to me.
I mean, it sounds like they could do it because you can't get off the ship on that one though.
No, you can't.
So they can have like after you kill so many ships or sink so many ships, then they go to like a CGI or trailer park where they show you doing some. You got to get from one location to another location, and when you make it there, they show you some type of CGI story part. And once you see the CGI story part, then they pull you back into the game, and then you go. I mean, I to me, that game there, that one need more openness to it.
Yeah, maybe that's it too. And I can see what you're saying, like
trash.
If you're PV, like if you're doing PvP and you're trying to go to a destination, like you may be fighting against another player, an actual player, but you're still trying to get to a destination. So that's how they'll kind of weave the single player, campaign within the multiplayer. I can see something like that happening, but I mean, really, when I first saw the game, I was like, pass. So
yeah.
So either way, it's a pass for me. I don't care what they do.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you straight up. I'd rather play Sea of Thieves than play that.
Definitely, I agree with you on that one. For me, when I saw this game, I was like, man, it looks like I get what they're doing. They're taking the ship combat from Assassin's Creed Black Flag and putting it into this game. And taking elements from For Honor and putting it into the game as well. It's just like I don't understand what Ubisoft is doing over there with some of these games, because they've always kind of been known for their single player experiences, and when they're trying to, why are they keep trying to focus on multiplayer? They've never been good at it. They've never had a good multiplayer experience, not even with Assassin's Creed. Like even Watch Dogs was terrible with that multiplayer experience. For Honor didn't sell well. The Division was not that great. I mean, it was okay. I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for that because of Def Jam Bam. He loves that game. But they've never been a really tight studio to do multiplayer. So I don't understand why they keep trying to. I guess they're trying to innovate and they're trying to make things different, but just stop. Just give us single player campaigns and be done with it, because that's what you're good at and that's what you've been known for a long time. And I'm so glad that they're not doing a multiplayer with Assassin's Creed Origins. I know a lot of people are kind of upset about that, but honestly, I think the game would have probably suffered because of it. And it's just, I don't understand why Ubisoft continues to try to make these kind of, multiplayer experiences. Especially, can you really call it a single player experience if all you're getting is cutscenes and then, you're just basically going through multiplayer matches? Right. I mean, even Titanfall tried to do the same thing, and the first Titanfall tried to do the same thing, but we all know it was just multiplayer. Like
it did.
I mean, you got to follow the money, and they know that the money is in multiplayer for two reasons: the in-game transactions, and if it's a multiplayer game, the odds of you trading this game in is decreases. That means if you don't trade the game in, that means GameStop can't buy the game from you. And if they can't buy the game from you, they can't resell the game to you. So that means you got to buy a new copy.
Right. That's true.
Multiplayer live.
Damn you, TripleCupChuck. Damn you. But any other thoughts on Skull and Bones, guys? Oh, well, what's up?
One other thing about I stand up for my multiplayer games. Rainbow Six Siege, bam, that trumps all the other games.
That is true. That is true. I guess I can kind of see why they're sticking with it because of Rainbow Six Siege. I mean, at first that game didn't do so well, but over time it has gotten a following, and a lot of people love it. So
yeah, they went for the marathon instead of the sprint.
Yeah,
that's true.
Definitely did. Any other thoughts on Skull and Bones, guys, before we move on
Pass.
to our last topic of the evening?
Pass.
Done.
Yeah,
through with it. Not picking it up. All right. So Evil Within 2. Now, we all know Evil Within 2 is coming out in October, right? I think.
Yeah.
Right? It's coming out in October. Yeah. And now from the studio, they were from Bethesda and from I think what was the other the studio that's developing it. They were saying that they're focusing more on the narrative of the game and kind of bringing us a story that is that we're going to enjoy more than we did with its predecessor. And they kind of said that instead of focusing so much more on making it scarier than their predecessor, they wanted to focus more on its narrative and make us, have us have a good experience with the story. Now, what do you guys think of that? You guys gonna pick up Evil Within 2 when it comes out? Is it a day one buy for you guys? Let me hear your thoughts.
All right, Evil Within. What I think about this game here is that's PR talk, because I mean it's simple. Like, the basis for the game is already, the code is there, so they ain't like they gotta start from scratch. So they already got the base. The only thing, anytime you're making a sequel, the majority of the focus should be on a new story. So they got the horror down, they got the gruesome down, they got all these elements already down. They just got to work on the story and just implement the scare features when they need to implement them. So that's why they probably said that. But that should be a no-brainer. But me personally, I mean, I'm just gonna wrap it up short. I'm not purchasing this game until it goes down to like $20-$25. That's one of those games that I get it when I get it.
All right. Now the reason as to why that is, Triple Cup.
Oh, I mean, I came to a conclusion in my I'm going to say for my 2013 gaming life that a lot of these single player games, I'm not gonna purchase all of them. Like, so you got the big with like Assassin's Creed, stuff like that. I'll purchase that like day one. But like the single player games, if I purchase it day one or if I purchase a year later, I'm still gonna get the same experience. So my backlog is so huge, I ain't in no dire need of games, because I got over 100-something games that I haven't even pushed the start button on yet. So I want to kind of knock those out. But my multiplayer games, I got to get those day one, because I don't want nobody having no leg up on me. So I get that day one. But my single player games, I get those when I get those. But unless it's something like Cuphead, day one, I'm diving, getting it. Got it is already my thing. So if it ain't the game, I just wanted to put that out there. But that's the only reason why I'm not getting it day one. It don't hit that. I must have it day one.
All right.
That makes sense. Yeah, for me, I don't know if I'll get it day one, but I'm going to buy it. It just depends on what I'm done playing with by then. I really enjoyed the first game, and I like the direction that they say that they're taking with this game. So definitely, the first game had a lot of psychological horror in it, and I know that they're going to have more story, but I also read where they're going to focus a lot more on that psychological horror too. And so, that game would really freak you out sometimes. I would have to sit the controller down and do something else. You know what I'm saying? Because in a dark room, man, it'll start to mess with you a little bit. Like, so kind of like Hellblade. I mean, if you sit there and play it in a dark room for a minute with some headphones on, you gotta take that stuff off and then just chill, do something else for a minute, and then get back to the game. The game was really good. It was really good. So they're gonna focus more on story, which, it's gonna be focused on his daughter. And you found out what happened to his daughter in the first game. So it seems like it's gonna be really good, man. It seems like you're not gonna have to do things a certain way. That they're gonna give you choice. This game's gonna be big enough to give you choice on how to engage certain situations. So I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, it just depends on what I'm done with playing by the time it, comes out. Um, that will depend upon whether I buy it day one. But either way, it'll be caught before the end of the year. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the game.
That sounds like an educated gamer.
Yes,
Like
sir.
I know what I'm gonna do, how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make sure I do this correctly.
Exactly.
But hey, I know before we go to another question, I got one question I want to ask y'all right quick. You don't
What's
mind?
up? Yeah, go ahead,
Like,
man.
out of this generation, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, what was the scariest game y'all have played so far? And then people in the chat, if y'all want to answer that, is in there.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Serious, man.
Scariest game I played so far, like for both or just for the one console?
Just in it out of the new consoles, out of
Well,
what I'm saying.
for both consoles, I'm gonna do for one for each. I'll have to say for PlayStation 4, I have to say Until Dawn. That was not only was it wasn't really scary.
Yeah.
It was more just like I loved it so much, but it had a few jump scares here and there.
It did.
But for Xbox, I think the only game I enjoyed the most was well, actually, I didn't play it on the Xbox. I played it on PlayStation 4, but it's also on the Xbox. Was Resident Evil 7. I felt like there was times where I'd be walking through the hallways and the grandma would be sitting there in her fucking wheelchair, and
Yeah.
I'd get so pissed. I'd be like, "Fuck you, grandma!" I would be sitting there yelling at the.
Hey, did you ever try to hit her?
Yeah, I did.
No, I never tried to hit her.
I
Never tried to hit her. I was
Your
afraid. I
mom
was afraid she was
abuser?
gonna. I was afraid she was gonna jump out.
Everything.
I thought she was gonna jump. If I hit her, I thought she was gonna like jump up and fucking scratch my eyes out or something. Man, she was creepy as hell. But yeah, those two games right there were probably of the generation that I thought were probably some of the scariest
Right.
ones. I know there's
I don't know
others out
about
there, but
for me. I don't know about scariest on PlayStation, but I guess the game that was supposed to be scary was Until Dawn, and it had some jump scares in there, but I wouldn't really categorize that as scary. You know what I'm saying? But for Xbox, I can kind of get away with this one because it's backwards compatible. It would probably be Dead Space 2.
Okay, yeah, that was a good one too.
Yeah, Dead Space 2 was kind of scary. It's between Dead Space 2 and The Evil Within as far as the scariest on Xbox.
yeah. Well, that's the thing. I don't play very many horror games, and when I do, it's usually like the top of the line. It has to be like Evil Within or something like that. It has to be AAA. It can't be like Outlast or something like that. Like I played the Outlast 2 demo, and I was all like, no, not for me.
Man, that game scared the shit out of me.
It is scary though. Definitely is scary. I don't like the walking simulator type of thing. Where I can't. I don't have a gun in my hand, or I can't shoot something. I just
Right when you're powerless.
Yeah.
Man, it's been out long enough, so I'd say that is one part on Evil Within. I'm playing and we walking and you opening doors and you coming to this one door and it's locked and you trying to, it's like you're in a school. I don't know where I think it's something crazy. The game weird, but it was like a part you in a hospital or a school or some type of facility, and I get to these doors and you trying to open up the doors, see where you go, everything quiet. Now all of a sudden you turn around. They got the first time I seen this monster, he just turn around and grab me. Man, when I say I'm sitting there, the controller flew out my hand, and what I'm saying, I couldn't catch the controller. My feet kicked the controller back up in the air. Man, yeah, that was one of those moments. But I had to go with Resident Evil 7 though. For me, then it's set in Louisiana. A lot of people don't know that, but it's set in Louisiana. See, I'm from Louisiana, and it's set in Louisiana. And I could like the place that they were showing you, like that house. I'd have actually seen places like that where you go down these roads, and then they got the houses that kind of sit way off in the yonder, like they'll say, and you ride down this little dirt road. then you get to a stop, then it's more like the woods, bushes kind of area, and you got to go back. If you want to go to it, you might got to go to the wood area, and it's in real life it's spooky as hell. So when I said this, I said, oh, this remind me of something. So I'd have been to places where you go and you be like, I shouldn't be here. So you know what I'm saying, I'd have seen this in real life. So when they did it, I was like, okay, I'd have seen these areas. So that's what kind of touched home base for me, for seeing these shack houses like that that's ducked off in the middle of nowhere, where you can't call, you know what I'm saying, nobody in sight. When it's dark outside, you don't see nothing.
A lot of those houses are they set in this? Are they placed in the swamp areas, right, of Louisiana?
Yeah, they got some. Yeah, they got some of them that be like in the swamp areas where they like you got the river where you got the houses that be right there on the river. You be wondering how you live right there, and they got some houses where you'll be riding down a road and then the road will kind of venture off to the left, and you could and they got a little small right turn where the road is not a road no more. It just, you'll be on a regular road, then all of a sudden it just turns to like a dirt road. You be riding it or you on a dirt road, and when you're going down this dirt road, on the left and right side of you, all you see is woods and trees, and like the trees,
some spooky house in the trees, right?
Yeah, just pretty much like deep back, like how you first start on that Resident Evil, how you first start going back there, and you just riding down this little road just like that, and you got to pretty much get out, and then the house way back off. Not, it's a pathway. You get back there, and they got houses like that. It just, you might see a house, and another house might not be for a couple miles down the road. So I'd have seen crazy stuff like that with no street lights, and the only thing it is mosquitoes and bugs out there, and you don't know what's around you. You might see running across an animal that's gonna attack you or not. So you more scared about the animals. And then you might see some people doing, you've seen movies. So the first thing you thinking about is somebody gonna catch you and try to sacrifice you, or you thinking about some voodoo type stuff. I'm like, your mind actually think about these types of crazy things. But what I'm saying, that's why it really got to me. Yeah. But I ain't gonna sit there because I could run it for a year and a half about that crazy stuff.
Any other thoughts on any of the topics that we had this evening, fellas? At all. Alrighty, so TripleCupChuck, it was a pleasure having you on the Quest podcast tonight. Please give everyone your information. Where can we find you? What you're going to be up to in the next couple of days? Just let them know.
Okay, for sure. All right, first I want to say, you got a little map, and it look like a circle with a sword going through it. And you'll think that's one of the maps for Sea of Thieves, but it's not. They tricked us. I want to let everybody know this is an anti Sea of Thieves podcast. They represent the whole pirate lifestyle. Unless that might be some
you never know. When the game comes out, it might be one of my games that I adore or some whatever, and who knows.
Yeah, and I'm gonna put y'all on the spot to y'all like Sea of Thieves, even if y'all don't like it. Like, I gotta like the Sea of Thieves now. I gotta like. I'm at least gonna get it. I'm gonna have to. My whole podcast got the Sea of Thieves logo, kind of like a pirate theme. So we got to get the Sea of Thieves. Yeah, but
I'm walking the plank on that one.
I know, right?
Yeah, don't jump. But anyway, though, you know what I'm saying. You can find me on the Xbox, you can find me on Twitter, you can find me on YouTube, you know what I'm saying, at TripleCupChuck, Triple Cup, one word, then Chuck. On Fridays, you can catch me with K Mega. We be cutting up, Saturdays, Blam, you know what I'm saying. Sometimes he be with it, we get on there, you know what I'm saying, periodically on Saturdays. And on Mondays, you can send me on the Game Assessor podcast with my boy Kano. He from Louisiana too. We be cutting up, and on my channel I just go uncut and raw, you know what I'm saying. That's how I just do it. Sometimes people say I talk too fast, but I be into it. When I get into something or I like something, I just get the, you know what I'm saying, I be enthused about it. I don't do the negative talk. I like to laugh. I like to joke. I like to clown. I like to conversate back and forth with people. You could hit me on the Xbox, and I don't even know you. We could talk for hours and play the game together. I don't care. I'll be tripping. But, you know what I'm saying, it's your boy TripleCupChuck. You know what I'm saying, just get at me.
All right, man. Definitely. M. Baines, where can we find you? We probably can't find you anywhere, but
yeah, don't try to find me. It was a
Hopefully I'll
pleasure
see
having.
you.
It was a pleasure having Triple Cup on here, man. I enjoyed the show, and that's it. M Baines 99, PlayStation, Xbox. We out.
Definitely. And I was your host for the evening, Dark Animus. You can find me on Twitter, the same name. You can also find me on Xbox Live. And TripleCupChuck, it was an absolute pleasure having you on tonight, man. Again, can't thank you enough. People in the chat, people who are watching this later on, please hit that like and subscribe button. We really do appreciate it. We want to continue to make this content for you guys.
A special shout out, real quick. Shout out to everybody in the chat, but a special shout out to Dirty J.
Yeah, 30's been doing his thing.
J, you always come through, man, and you're an absolute gentleman, and we appreciate you, man, for coming out every single week, and especially all of our people that come out every week. Daz. He's in England, and he's up until like 3:30 in the morning, staying with us, and we appreciate everything you guys do. Keep doing it, and we'll keep giving you the content that you guys want. But we are out, people. Have a good night. We'll see you next week.
Peace.